I'm gonna catch me a ride on a subway car that's headed for the old North Star and leave my troubles stranded on the mainland. I'm gonna crown the god of night with a light and pull myself clean out of sight and turn the phony world I left to sand. I would gladly sail away.
As I walked out of this wretched place, all my mind could think of was about victory. 4 years ago, I had succumbed to the will of this phony establishment and stayed dormant, only to blossom and regain the years I spent behind the walls of this hospital. As I continued down the street, one question lingered through my mind. Where am I to go now? I found myself in a quagmire of having no sense of direction. I slowly stepped into the nearest coffee shop and began to think.
I'm still lonely. Why, Lord, why must I learn to testify when all I wanna be is just a catcher in the rye?
I feel a sense of freedom which I haven't experienced in years. I just returned from Korea, served in the Marines 5th Battalion. Being back in America just gives me a sense of happiness like I haven't experienced in years.
I salute you, soldier. Tell me a little bit more about yourself. Mr.
Caulfield. My name's Holden Caulfield. I'm from New York, but I'm stationed out here, just 20 miles north. I'm supposed to get picked up, but my parents never came. On account, they died in a plane crash last year.
Oh, sorry to hear that, Holden. I'll tell you what, you're an interesting fellow. I'm on my way to Long Island myself. We are only a few hundred miles away from there, so I thought we'd go on into New York together. I have a car and I can use the company. By the way, my name is Sarah Goldberg.
Then one day, I was just trying to go that way, and then some stupid person...
Move, asshole!
How you doing, bitch? Get out of here!
Sarah. I repeated her name silently in my head. It was obvious that she had little to no formal education, but I could still ascertain that she was quite brilliant. Each time I tried asking her about her whereabouts or her destination, she dodged the question and asked me the same. As we trekked on, I watched a thick jungle pass by. We were only about 25 miles from Manhattan, where I spent most of my childhood, and I began catching a whiff of all the present scent of hardworking individuals trying to build up their own lives.
Well, here you are, Holden. Central Park.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you very much.
Thank you? Is that all you have to say? Just leave, Holden. Just leave.
I quickly examined her demeanor and understood that she was disgusted of me. I exited her car and watched her drive away frantically. How could she be mad at me? She was the soulless one in the car ride. She had the audacity to get mad at me? I continued walking. I saw various sorts of people. Mothers and fathers playing with their children, young couples experiencing the emotion of love for the first time, hoodlums up to mischievous actions, and so on. But all my focus shifted to one specific person, sitting isolated on the table reading a book. I recognized the way her body twisted and turned to accommodate her posture. I recognized the way her hair gently waved from the slight breeze. It was the love of my life, Jane Gallagher.
How are you, Jane? I haven't seen you in ages.
Holden, I'm sure you understand why. I was with Stradlater the last time I saw you. That same weekend, you and him had a fuss. He told me you went ahead and gone over to Manhattan. That same weekend, I received 2 strange phone calls. Don't lie to me, Holden. I know that was you. And where were you these past years? Neither I nor Stradlater heard from you for years.
You were with Stradlater. Whatever happened to that greaseball?
That greaseball is meeting me here for picnic today. Where were you these past few years?
I moved out west to San Francisco. I tried looking for a job, but I landed myself a nice one. I work for Mr. Schmidt as his assistant. He's in the real estate business. Last month, his company went bankrupt, so I lost my job. I searched far and wide for another one, but my search was in vain. So, I moved back east.
Why on earth didn't you call? I even got a phone call from your sister. She was asking me where you were.
Holden! Hey man, how are you? Haven't seen you in a long time.
Hey Jane dear, I'm not going to beat around the bush. Come with me. Come with me to my cabin in the woods. We can start a new life there. There isn't anything here that you can't have out there. Jane, you and I could do amazing things.
I don't know what you're trying to pull here, Caulfield, but you better get on out of here before I get really angry with you.
Jane, it's too good for you. Jane, come with me. Come with me.
Get the hell out of here before I break your jaw.
I want to see you try, coward.
I watched the two walk away. I knew that if she looked back, it would mean that she had feelings for me. She didn't. While I walked, I began thinking about my options. I could go home and see Phoebe. I could head out west and start a new life. But for what? It's not like I would have such a fortunate life in the west. But then, I recognized another familiar face. The one of my beloved sister.
Phoebe, my sister, come here.
Hey, Holden.
How are you? What's wrong, sis?
Holden, what do you want me to say? I haven't seen you for over 4 years. When you left, I asked you to take me with you. This was an immature thing to say, but I at least deserved an explanation to where you were going. You have no idea how difficult it was for a young girl to lose her brother for these years.
I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. I had to do this. You won't understand. Will, Nick, how you guys been? Long time no see.
Hey, Holden.
Hey, Holden. How have you been, man? Last time I saw you was at the Natural History Museum. Where have you been?
Yeah, where have you been, Holden?
Phoebes, it's hard for me to say, but I started a new life down in Texas. You know our Aunt Sally, right? I moved down there because I had no hope or opportunity here. Our parents are, well, phony. They sent me to school after school, knowing that I'll fail. All they worried about society demands of us. I headed down to Texas to work on our auntie's farm. A few months later, I moved to San Antonio in search of a white-collar job. I landed myself a very stable job as an accountant for a law firm, and I've planted my roots there. I'm engaged to a girl, found a great girl, and I've come here to ask our parents and you to come to our wedding. So what do you say, Phoebes? Let's go home.
I don't know, Holden. I'm here with my friends. You can't just come back in my life after years of abandoning me. How dare you do that to me? Just leave, Holden. Just leave.
Yeah, Holden, that ain't right. You can't just up and leave your sister here alone in New York.
Come on, sis. Come with me. I'll explain everything you want to know on the way. Just please, come with me. I need to talk to our folks.
I watched her walk away from me. I watched the only remaining person that cared for me walk away. Hatred boiled in her blood, and I could tell that it would be years until I finally approached her without feeling loathed. I continued walking aimlessly. I could not get my mind over this phony world we live in. It is archaic that we are expected to tell everyone in our lives every little aspect of our own personal life. This is just an unjust world we live. The whole time I walked along the streets of Manhattan, I couldn't get my mind off the idea of my next destination. I wondered how I could establish a home to which I belong. But then it struck me. I was home. Manhattan was the only home I knew. How could I ever leave home? Manhattan is where I'm from, and it's where I'm going to stay. My home.